Hey, my name's Ty Cohen, and I teach people how to make money online, and I'm qualified to do so because I've made millions and millions and millions of dollars online myself. So I want to show you something. So take a look, right? I'm going to open this up, and I want to make sure that my address is not showing, but I want to show you something that is the secret to the success of many people who make millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, and even billions of dollars and tens of billions of dollars. And it's something that, to be honest with you, has been hidden from most people in plain sight. It's something that most people who do really well, they don't often share these things with you. And it's for many reasons, right? Some people don't share them because they don't want to hear the negative comments. Some people don't share them because oftentimes people will think that there's more to being successful than what people who are successful will actually share. Other people don't share because they're just evil and don't want to share. Other people don't share because they just don't think to share, right? They just leave it up to someone else, like me, who was willing to share. But I'm going to show you something that, again, is so simple, yet also can be perceived as being difficult. And if you look at this, right? So I just got this in the mail, and I haven't even really opened it yet because I was going into opening it, but then I stopped and I said, you know what, I need to create a video and kind of share this with everyone so that people who are not in the know, they can become in the know, right? It's each one teach one, and that's how we reach them. So this here is just a regular disk drive that's not so regular, right? So you'll see it's got the USB cord here. It's a regular disk drive that's not so regular. So why is it not so regular? Well, the reason why is there's over $500,000 worth of information on this disk drive right here on topics such as personal development, marketing, advertising, copywriting, direct response, you name it. Things that help people like myself to build their businesses, right? So I've spent over my lifetime, I mean, I can't even think of how much I've spent over, but it's been close to $1 million on my personal development, on my education, my unofficial education, right? Self-education, as Jim Rohn, the late Jim Rohn would say, can make you, he says traditional education can make you a living, self-education can make you a fortune. And when I heard that, I got to a point where spending money on things like this, I mean, it was just like a no-brainer, right? Because every time I spend money on my self-education and implement it and put it into place, it ends up working out for me, right? I end up taking that stuff and end up using it to not only improve on myself and become the individual that I wish to become, right? To get to the levels that I need to get in order to generate the income and impact the lives of people that I want to impact. But why did I say that this is something that is hidden in plain sight? Because oftentimes when people are not where they want to be, they have the resources, they have the money, and you know, even you looking at this thing, you might have said, "Hey Ty, well, I don't have $500,000, or I don't even have, you know, a few $100s to spend on my education right now." And to be honest with you, that was not always the case for me, right? If you don't know my story, I grew up in Father Panic Village, one of the worst housing projects. I was born with sickle cell anemia, not thought to have been able to live past the age of 17. My mother was on welfare. She got like $400 or $500 a month. She raised 6 kids. So we grew up really, really poor. But I always knew that there was going to be more there. I knew that I had to make generational changes. I didn't know how I was going to do it, right? But I knew that if there were other people that were doing it, and sometimes you just have to have the exposure, that I had a chance at being able to do it, right? So you have a chance at being able to do it. And it starts with the education. And honestly, for me, it didn't start with traditional education, in the sense of going to high school and college, because I barely made it out of high school, right? I failed English 101 not once, but twice. I stayed back my sophomore year, had to repeat that year, graduated a year late, tried to go to college on 3 different occasions, and it just wasn't for me. Right? And around that same time, coincidentally, I started to learn about self-education. I started to learn about marketing. I started to study things like psychology, persuasion, copywriting, direct response marketing, just all of these different things that really, you know, turned me on And that's where I started to see my own personal growth, right? I started to see where I could go in, I could build up these businesses that helped me to get my family out of these levels of despair that we were in and break these generational curses. And that's where it's began for me, right? So it wasn't a traditional education in a traditional sense. It was the self-education. And part of that was for me helping other people as well, just as I want to help you. So again, you don't have to be the individual that right now is able to go in and afford this type of information. This is not where I started at. I started at, studying people and books and there's shortcuts where you can go and you can compress information just by going in and reading the books, the autobiographies of people that have already accomplished these huge things in life. They put it all in a book, right? So that's where I started at, going to the library and just using the word library, it'll show you how long ago this was, right? But going to the library. Now you guys have the advantage of being online. I would stay up and I would work my job, get off my job at 11 o'clock at night and stay up till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning learning and just studying things online. And now with YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, you have the ability to do that. But it takes the desire. So you have to have the desire, you have to have the will, and you have to have the discipline, right? The self-discipline to be able to do that. My definition, I'll give you 2 definitions of discipline. The traditional discipline, this definition of discipline is doing the things that you know you need to do even when you don't feel like doing them. And I add on to that. And it is doing the things that you don't feel like doing or doing the things that you hate doing, but doing it like you freaking love it, right? So studying and reading and implementing, right? The studying and the reading sometimes can go easy for people. That could be the easy part. And then the planning can be super easy. You'll see people who plan. And then the starting could be super easy for people. You'll see people who start one thing and then 3 months or 6 months or a year later, they're starting something else and they barely ever can stay consistent, right? Focused and committed to one thing. So that's the hard part. It's the implementing after you've studied, after you've learned. It's buckling down, and it is the implementing after you've written out your plan, and not for the 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th time and revised it. It is the implementing. It is the staying disciplined. It is the staying committed after you've started something. You've started one business type and not having shiny object syndrome and jumping from thing to thing to thing every couple of weeks or every couple of months or every couple of years. It is staying committed. And that is the secret that most successful people will not share with you, but it's hidden in plain sight. Most entrepreneurs switch lanes so often that they rarely see the success that they deserve to see. So hopefully this video finds you well. I'm asking you to stay committed. Stay committed. Find that one thing. You'll know when it's the one thing. People will often ask me, hey Ty, how do I know when it's the one thing? When should I switch lanes? When should I stay in this lane and put the blinders on and stay focused? You will know, right? If you listen to your heart, you'll know. And you also know when you're giving up too soon, when you're quitting, when you're punking out. Listen to your heart, right? There you go. Let me know if you found value in this video. I need more subscribers, so please go in, like, share, subscribe, comment. If you are planning and if you're committed to staying committed, in the comments, I just want you to comment, I am committed. That's it. I'll see you. Stay well.